heartbreaking. It is a direct attack on democracy. Shouldn't happen. It's interfering with people's vote is un-American.
With 1 week to go before Election Day, we're hearing from public officials in Clark County after 2 ballot boxes were set on fire early yesterday morning. Thank you for joining us for the news at noon. I'm China Green. As KGW's Catherine Cook found out, not only did hundreds of ballots get destroyed, but authorities believe the same person is behind both attacks. And now increased patrols are coming to protect local ballot boxes.
Hundreds of ballots burned. Around 6:30 Monday morning, police say someone set fire to this elections drop box in Vancouver at the Fisher's Landing Transit Center. Elections officials tried to save the ballots they could, but say most were destroyed.
You know, it's heartbreaking. It is a direct attack on democracy. Yeah, shouldn't happen. It's interfering with people's vote is un-American.
On Monday night, Clark County Auditor Greg Kimsey announced contract workers would begin monitoring the county's 22 ballot boxes for suspicious activity. They'll be here 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Also, Clark County Sheriff's deputies and Vancouver police will increase patrols near drop box sites. Across the river in Portland, another drop box fire on the same morning. Police say this one happened outside Multnomah County Elections headquarters on Southeast 10th and Morrison. In this case, they say only 3 ballots were destroyed and their owners have been notified. Officials say the fire suppression canister inside this box worked, unlike the one in Clark County. They're not sure why that one didn't. Portland Mayor Ted Wheeler tried to reassure concerned voters.
We absolutely want the public to feel safe in terms of casting their ballot. Don't forget that in Portland we have vote by mail, so if people don't want to cast their ballot in person, they do not have to.
Investigators say they found incendiary devices in both drop box fires. Security cameras captured these photos. Investigators are looking for someone tied to this dark-colored Volvo. They think the same suspect is behind both cases on Monday and a third ballot box fire in Vancouver on October 8th. The FBI is investigating all 3 cases.
Not everybody gets to vote twice.
By Monday afternoon, Clark County voters like Barb Hoffman were filling out replacement ballots in person. She's pretty sure her first one burned.
My vote's important as the person who burned my ballot. And no matter who you're voting for, that's your right.
Catherine Cook, KGW News.
And just like Catherine said, people in Clark County have already started to fill out replacement ballots. If you think your ballot was destroyed, the first thing you'll want to do is to check to see if your ballot was received. You can do that by contacting your elections office. The elections office will mark your ballot as received if it made it. If not, then you will be able to get a replacement ballot. Clark County says they can mail replacement ballots, but to make sure everything happens on time, you should go in person to your county election office. Election offices will only count the first ballot from someone. So if you complete a second ballot and your first one turns up, it will not be counted. In Multnomah County, the elections office set up a number for anyone with concerns about the ballot if they put it in the impacted drop box. We've posted it on KGW.com along with links showing you where to go to check your ballot status. And a lot of people went on the record yesterday condemning whoever set the fire to the ballot boxes. That includes both candidates in the race for Washington's 3rd congressional district. Democratic incumbent Marie Gluesenkamp-Perez released a statement calling it unpatriotic. She also called for overnight security at Clark County drop boxes through the end of election. Her Republican challenger Joe Kent went on X to condemn the ballot box attacks with this video.
No one should be intimidated. This should not deter anyone from voting. I think the ballot drop boxes are still perfectly safe for you to drop your ballots off in.
As we mentioned earlier, there will be added security. Clark County officials are working to have someone watch all 22 drop boxes in the county 24 hours a day. In the meantime, stay with KGW online through social media for the very latest on this developing story, as well as everything you need to know about elections. And if you haven't sent in your ballot yet and aren't sure who to vote for, check out our voter guide on the big races and statewide measures. Just text the word VOTE to 503-226-5088 and we'll text you back with a link to what you need to know. All right, let's check in with Chris McGinnis for a look at weather.
If October sunshine were running for office, it would win, right? We don't get a lot of that as we get deeper into the month. We've got more and more rain actually in the extended forecast. But for today, we're enjoying some sun over downtown right now. There's the live look from our Wells Fargo Tower. By the way, interesting mix of temperatures across the region right now. It's 51 degrees last check downtown. However, across the region with the cloud cover, we've got, again, quite a range. It's 54 last check at the airport. But watch this. We go over to Aloha, the Reserve Golf Course and Vineyards, 46 with the cloud cover, still keeping you folks somewhat socked in. So depending on where you are, we are seeing cloudy, cool conditions or sunny and slightly milder conditions. 53 in Vancouver. It's only 46 though in Hillsborough. The sun's just now starting to poke out down in the Salem area. You've climbed up to 47 at last report. Here's a look at the visible satellite imagery. And once again, the cloud cover really struggling to break up here, but it will continue to do so. And so I think most of us will finish the day with a mostly sunny sky for at least one day, and then the rain comes back tomorrow. So here's the remainder of our Tuesday. I've got us in the mid-50s through mid-afternoon. Portland tops out at about 56. Sundown in the, well, barely in the 7 o'clock hour. And then as we get later and later here, temperatures will cool off. China, there is rain, significant rain in the Wednesday, Thursday, Friday forecast. We'll walk you through that with the 7-day coming up in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Chris. That sound came from a tactical police team who arrested a man following a chase in Tigard. Investigators say the suspect stole a car in Portland, rammed into several police cars, and then nearly hit an officer. Police say that they found him near a Tigard apartment complex on Southwest Hunziker. It doesn't appear anyone was injured, and there's still no word yet on the suspect's name or the charges against him. A judge is allowing a private forensic investigator to go inside the Falls City, Washington home, where a 15-year-old allegedly killed 5 members of his family. Lawyers for that teen hired the investigator and filed a petition with the court. 5 members of the family, including 2 parents, Sarah and Mark Huminston, and 3 children, ages 7, 9, and 13, were found shot dead 1 week ago today. 1 sibling survived.
It is their job to investigate this case. They have a duty and an obligation constitutionally to do so. They have a duty and obligation for their client to make sure that, and I understand, the Washington State Patrol's been through it, your forensic experts have been through it, they have the right to conduct an investigation of their own.
The defense investigator will only be allowed to take pictures of the scene, not to collect physical evidence. And tonight on KGW News at 6, investigators are still trying to solve the case of a man who went missing 20 years ago this month. Our Ashley Grahams talked to detectives who haven't given up hope that his family will one day have answers. Here's a preview.
Telephone records, medical records, financial records. Yeah, this was 2004.
Oregon investigators are still trying to find Glenn Penny.
From the get-go, we treated this not as a missing person, but as a potential, abduction, homicide. There's something more going on here.
A Polk County man who vanished 20 years ago in October 2004.
While Glenn was going to California for a probate hearing on his father's estate.
Investigators from the sheriff's office say at the time Glenn disappeared, he was about to receive an inheritance.
From all appearances, it looked like all he had to do was come out of the house, open the car, and he was on his way. He was ready to go. His stuff was all in the truck. And he had even called his cousins, I think, that lived down in California.
But you don't believe he ever made it to California?
No, they never saw him. His truck is still there. He just disappeared.
And while investigators have limited evidence, they continue to search for answers for Glenn's family.
Bringing this up again after 20 years is just keep Glenn's story alive. His daughter knows that we've never forgot about Glenn. We've never stopped working on it.
Again, you can catch Ashley's full story later tonight on KGW News at 6. We'll also post the full story on KGW.com and the KGW YouTube channel.